gone ahead, as someone who has had an organization, who has had a business, I would love to hear from you about a leader quitting. When your leader comes and tells you, by the way, I am quitting, I feel like this and this and that. Because personally, for me, I have had my own experiences where I'm like, okay, I think time has come for me to step down. And then you realize everything has gone south, or now the founder of the organization has issues with you because you're leaving and everything. But I'm just thinking, you see, I can't stay here forever. I think at times you ought to be happy that this person has outgrown this space. This person has done whatever they're supposed to do at this place, and now they are moving on. So, Tiano Paul Peter, kindly tell us from the mind of the founder, from the heart of the founder, what goes on when your leader comes and tells you, I am leaving by good faith?
Thank you, Lady Noel. Our moderator, one thing we need to first distinguish is that quitting in this case should not be misconstrued to mean, for example, somebody is in a race. We are doing 10,000 meters marathon, 10,000 meters or something, and then I stop at the 9th. So quitting in this case simply means you've done what you were supposed to do, or at least where you've reached, there is no much value you're going to add as you move on. And I'd like to start by saying systems and structures. A leader needs to be establishing systems that will outlive him or her, that will continue to further your legacy. You see, I see in governments, we talk about, for example, if you check US government, Obama came up with Obamacare. Trump came and scrapped it. And somebody, Biden, comes and maybe reinstates or whatever. We should not have something that by the end of it, it cannot move on if it's not ours, if it's not ourselves moving it. So a leader should be able to set up something. If it is building an organization, we should be able to see that when you are there, and this is what we are going to discuss in the next chapter, building a legacy. This is what you did. These are the milestones that you achieved. And when people come in, they are able to see that this was established by yourself. Most times, you'll realize that leaders just like memorial stones. This stone was laid by so-and-so. Not necessarily that they caused the project to be done, but they were called, come and launch for us this. So leaders, when we are stepping, one thing you remember, some of you who are there, that before you step into office or into a position, you need to have conceived an idea of what is it that you'd like to achieve in that particular position. You do not go there, then you start wondering, so what will we do? No, and this is what, if you are a political leader, you are able to tell people that the reason I want to be in this office is so that I can do the following. You do not need to lie about it. You just need to say what needs to be done and go ahead and do it. Just deliver the goods. So, and after doing it, it should not be something that won't be done after you. It should be something that can be perpetuated. You see, if you remember this idea of devolution in Kenya, enough people, enough leaders opposed it. But today, if you ask them, they are the biggest beneficiaries and they want it to go on. If you told them we want to go back to the unilateral system, they would oppose it vehemently. You see, so that's the type of leadership I'm talking about. The other thing is, like Dr. Eda and even Lady Noel has talked about, it's living at the apex. Some of us want to stick there we stick there because of maybe salary, because of the park. And this is why we see presidents in certain countries do not want to leave, because they can't imagine life outside this particular position. And we see this in organizations, people who must be pushed out. This is not very interesting. You leave it when people still feel like maybe you ought to be there a little longer. And I loved the analogy of sports. This is always true. Sports people who do not identify the right place to step out do not leave a very good legacy. People don't remember much about what you did before. They will remember the point at which you ended. And this we do much in music. Remember, this book is The Making of a Symphony Orchestra. In music, we've got to know how will we end this song, at what point. And always we want to end it at a point where it's forte. It's forte. People are going to be amazed and give you a standing ovation. You did it. You are supposed to do this piece, you did it, and you've managed to do it. So that's the way it is. You asked with respect to founders or people who set up organizations from the beginning. Yes, it means you've built leaders and the organization does not identify with you anymore. And this is why most times I'm opposed to organizations that are named after people. For example, maybe I call my organization Otieno Paul Peter Limited. What happens is, no matter how much, I think it's always trying maybe to tie our name into something so that it can be furthered. But I think if you build something well enough, we do not need to know who founded what, who founded this, but your legacy will always be remembered. You build leadership that will always carry on. We've seen this in leaders who, they build empires, but then shortly after their demise, everything else tramples, everything else goes haywire. And all their years of hard work comes to nothing. And this is quite critical for family-owned businesses, for people who start up organizations. We need to think succession. We think beyond our time, how will it proceed? Again, there is frustration when things are happening contrary to your values. I've seen people join government. I have a friend who joined government from private sector, and she keeps getting frustrated. She keeps feeling like every good intention that she had joining is not being implemented. It's just going round and round and round and round and round. Things are not getting implemented. And she doesn't have the capacity to cause them to happen. She could just come up with the idea, wait for facilitation, request for it so that she can implement them. But things are not happening. Things in government just happen differently. And so your time there is either that you are there to earn, you are not making any contribution, or you are maybe at times compelled to do things against your own values. You're supposed to quit. That's not the right place you want to be in. You can go and find where you can be more productive. And we call that, this is a case where you look for a seed is looking for a good soil to grow, to thrive and grow. So if your environment doesn't accommodate that, remember somebody said you're not a tree. A tree is stuck. If you are planted somewhere, you cannot move to a different location. But you're not a tree, you're a human being. You can make judgments. You know, at this point, I can move to a different location. And you do not have to be sure where you're going, by the way. When it comes to quitting or moving on, you may not have to be sure where you're going. Sometimes you just jump off and move on. And I'm almost done with this comment. The other one is, leadership doesn't require a title. You do not have to be in a leadership position to lead. If you're a leader, you will still lead. And I've seen this in organizations where the leader will claim that some other people are frustrating the effort, and all these people are under him or her. The idea is the one people listen to, that is their leader. So try to influence people so that they are able to move with your wave. they are able to support you. And timelines, if your time is over, just let go. We've seen the Maragas, the Mutungas. We've seen Nelson Mandela only one term in presidency. People thought maybe he would be stuck there forever. We've seen different people living when it's their time, no matter how sweet it is. That's what I would say for now. Thank you, Lady Noya.
Thank you so much. I think